Listen. Do you mind if I put my 2 cents in?
No, honey, I don't mind. Call the police immediately.
I don't get it.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Yes? Hello? Hi, stranger.
I want ham and eggs and flapjacks with lots of butter and syrup and coffee. I'll take the coffee now.
Where did you come from? Rain.
Where's my dough?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Vibes and Stuff Live in the Morning. It's your host, Chuck Allen, with your host, Uncle Freezy, coming to you live on a Thursday. Yeah, baby. One more day to the weekend. How you doing this morning?
Man, don't be being nice to me this morning, man, after the way that you fussed at me the other day, bro. Yo, man, yo, Chuck was, Uncle Freezy on the real, I mean, responsible adults are go see the doctor. So, Chuck, yes, I'm going to see the doctor today, bro. I'm going to see the doctor today, bro. Yeah, I'm going to see the doctor today, bro. So the new doctor. We'll see how this thing work out. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I got a bad dog and a bad knee, so I'm gonna and they on separate legs, different legs. So I'm gonna go get checked out, man, and then come back after that and get into superhero status. And just tell the doctor my goal for 2023 is to start back boxing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
DSJ
in the building.
Salute our guy DSJ, man. Good to see you in the building, sir. Thank you. What's in your cup?
Oh, I don't even have nothing to. Hold on, I don't even have nothing to drink there. Let me rectify.
So yeah, man. Chuck doing it a little different today. Just regular schmegular water.
Regular schmegular.
Yeah, man. I woke up.
Schmegular water.
Yeah, man. I woke up this morning, man, dehydrated like a mug. I was like, it felt like one of those mornings when you drank too much the night before.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I wasn't drinking at all.
Man, how the blood sugar?
You know what? I hadn't even checked yet this morning.
Yeah, man. That might be it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that might be it. So yeah, man. Man, make sure you take care of yourself, brother.
Oh, absolutely.
So I had some Vibesters and Chuck. I talked to Chuck about this earlier, and so I got some feedback from somebody that watched the show. Keith Turner is in the building, my man's. Keith Turner is in the building.
Mr. Turner.
Yo, I was talking about Keith Turner. Listen, man, what time is it? 8 something? I was talking about Keith Turner. I mean, in a real way, not no BS gossiping, gossip folk type. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
But about 20 minutes after 7, maybe 7:15, I was talking to somebody about Keith Turner. And my thing was, yo, man, how come people can't keep it real no more? Everybody's so sensitive nowadays, bro. Like Keith Turner. I saw Keith Turner put something in the chat. And in the Lawrence Cheers chat, and people went all crazy, like, "Oh, Keith Turner, you hurt my feelings." And I was like, "Yo, why?"
Feelings.
Yeah, I'm like, why is everybody in their feelings?
I don't know, man.
Keith Turner, stay keeping it a buck, bro. Basically, what I'm getting at. So Keith Turner, I know everybody ain't gonna always agree. We don't have to. We don't have to always agree. You know what I'm saying? We can, you know what I'm saying? And basically what I was telling the person is, I like when people, you know what I'm saying, keep it real. Like,
Right.
don't hide nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I know everybody ain't built for that. You got to be built a certain way. I'm saying that's my preference. Like I would rather know what you thinking up front than get some news like 2 weeks later. You heard what such and such said behind your back. I'm like, oh, jeez, man, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what was the feedback that you got? Huh?
Oh, the feedback on a different thing is, vibes and stuff need to talk about more diverse topics. Like basically, I was told, like, basically in a nutshell is you always talk about what you and Chuck want to talk about. What about the viewers? Basically, to summarize. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And basically, and as I look at myself on camera, I look like Ocean's 15, black shirt and black hat. Like I could just like I'm about to go.
Rob a casino?
Yes. Yes, and get my ass beat. You ever see somebody try to rob the casino?
Oh yeah.
They get
Oh yeah, they get they. Wow.
they body the security. But anyway, yeah. So I think it's like a we should start talking about more hard hitting topics, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like more hard hitting topics and more diverse topics. You know what I'm saying? And so while with me, I'm up for having the conversation about anything. My trepidation is always as long as we are respectful. You know what I'm saying? As long as we are respectful, I'm cool with any. I it don't bother me. As long as we are respectful of persons, I don't care. I don't care. My main thing is as long as we don't get on here and just be like it's free form for us to just start throwing the N-word around, or it's the free form for us to start using slurs around for people, like what I'm saying, calling people certain words because of their sexual orientation or
Right.
because of their gender or non-gender or lineal gender or whatever it is. So I'm okay with it. I'm saying, as long as it's a intellectual conversation, I mean, I'm cool with it. John is in the building. What's good, John?
Salute to our guy, John. Still Knicks, man.
Still
Check
Knicks
them
fans in
out.
the building.
Check out their stuff. Him and Ron. Great show. Salute to you, brother, for stopping by. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So let's do it. Let's talk. So let's talk about a controversial topic, and then we'll see how far we get before YouTube snatch us off.
All right. Before we even go there,
like me.
before we go there, just a random thought while you were talking. Will independent thinking be illegal soon? Because it was I came up with that random thought based on what you were talking about with Keith Turner and how he said one thing and then everybody got into their feelings. Nowadays, when people get into their feelings, they get you fired, they get you kicked off of social media platforms. It's like the end of the world. If your viewpoints don't match mine, you're wrong. and you need to go away, never to be heard again.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I say F that. I say F that. I say F that because that's a form of control, man.
Right.
Where you take away people's ability to think for themselves.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like I think we're at a point, we're gonna get to a point, we're almost there. I want to say we're almost there.
Right.
Where we're literally, the sun could be shining, birds will be singing, and someone will say, no, that's not what's happening. It's raining.
Right.
And there will be an argument about whether it's raining or not.
No, and an argument on whether I have the right to say that it's raining, even though the sun is out.
Mm-hmm.
And then people will be claimed to be victims because the sun is out and birds are singing. I say it's raining, but you want to take away my right to say that it's raining, even though you know it's a lie, because of people's intuitive and primal desire to be different. Right. People have, and listen, being original is a primal trait, in my opinion. Right. People desperately want to be different. They only want to be the same in consequence. Right.
Mm-hmm.
To be accepted. And people being accepted is another thing, another primal thing, another intuitive thing. Being accepted, like people yearn to be accepted, but they also want to be original. You hear the word original or real at least 10 times a day. Some form of originalities in some word, right? They might use, some type of a different word for original, but they're going to use original every day.
Yes, I agree.
Especially black people. We gonna keep it real, son. You keep what? I don't know who makes the code, bro. I don't know who the community makes the codes, but I understand. I
get, but okay, I'll save that for the media topic. I just think I can't enjoy good conversation anymore because people are offended. And I don't understand. Like, because two people
I think
don't.
they just say they're offended.
Okay. Just for the sake of saying you're offended, like that's bullshit, man. Pardon me. I just think that's okay. Then that's cowardly. You don't want to have the debate. You don't want to have the healthy conversation. So you say you're offended. Listen, man. Truth hurts.
The truth hurts.
The truth hurts. I don't want to lie anymore. Like, I don't want to. There are a lot of people in this world that have been lied to repeatedly, and they believe these lies. And now it's gotten to a point where people who don't believe the lie, who's calling the lie out, something's wrong with you.
Okay.
It's a level of confusion. It's like, you know what I'm saying? What's up is really down. What's left is really right. What's light is really dark. Like what the and I think that if you can't stand on what you believe and you're easily folded because of what other people are saying or what other people are thinking, then I don't think I don't think the conversations that we're having now, I don't think they will be legal in a couple of years, man. Like your channel will be gone. Just nope. They're not saying what we want them to say. They're not doing what we want them to do. Done.
Okay.
And I don't think that's fair. I think that's a very a juvenile or childish mentality. Children do that. When children can't get their way, they throw tantrums.
Right.
But I want that. No, you can't have it.
Right.
And then you just go crazy.
I know adults like that, bro. A lot of adults like that. Can't have their way. They flip out and go crazy.
Well, something's wrong with them.
Mentally.
Yes. Their growth has been stunted. Like, they need professional help. And if you are the person that I'm talking about or people that I'm talking about that are close to Uncle Freezy, Chuck means what he's saying. You have a problem. You need to sit down and talk to someone because you lack the communication skills to articulate how you feel. So you just go into a rage because you can't have what you want.
Right.
And it don't always be the people that are spoiled. It just people feel entitled. I should be able to do this. I should be able
Right.
to.
They don't have inhibitors. Inhibitors is what those devices that stop you from those impulses. Right.
You know what? One of those things was shame, huh? You didn't do things because you know it would bring shame to you, your family, your community. So you just didn't take part in those things. Now we've removed those, you know, the fact that, okay, you used to supply the community with addicting drugs, right? But we hold you up like you're some type of pillar in the community, particularly in the rap community, right? People used to be ashamed of that. Even the people that did it on a big level, they didn't want you to know that's what they did because it was looked upon, it was frowned upon. Right. In a larger,
They used to hide it, like dudes used to own a candy store that ain't sold no candy. you go in the candy store, the candy got dust on it. You know what I'm saying?
Candy's so old it's starting to melt.
Yeah, because they was doing something they didn't want. They wanted to kind of hide it at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And so they own like a candy store or a laundromat, and with the carousel don't even work. You know, I mean not a laundromat, but a dry cleaner. You know how you go to the dry cleaner and the carousel don't even work. The old man have to walk all the way around to the back to get your stuff. You're like, how you own a laundromat? I mean, how you own a dry cleaner and the carousel don't work? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel you.
Just a quick question. You can you hear me good, Unc?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, I'm trying not to touch this mic stand and it keeps falling, man. Like it's some, I don't know, but can you hear
Alicia
me good?
Keys.
Yeah, man.
I keep on falling in and out.
And I've tightened up the screws in it, but it's still, I don't know, the mic might be just too heavy for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think are we living in the last days of morality? Are we living in the last days of um, moderation?
No, easy there, big fella. Slow down.
Okay.
Slow down, big fella.
Okay.
No, we no. Things never get that far out of hand. Like basically what it is we like the baby in the stove. Like we'll mess around with that stove and everybody be like, man, it's hot. You better not touch it. And then the baby will get close to touching the stove and the baby will back up. That's where we at. We ultimately we know where the boundaries are. Because if you ask like excuse me, y'all. But right before I was born, the civil rights era was like in its peak, right?
Right.
Right. And people then were like, yo, things can't get no worse than they are today. Right. This is like right before I was born, like 5 or 6 years before I was born. So you're talking about like 62, 63,
Mm-hmm.
60, 62, 60. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like my uncles and them used to talk about, my uncles and them used to be, my uncle. So in 60, my uncles and them would have been about 20, 21, right?
Okay.
They talk about how they thought the world was just going to explode because of all the things that were wrong with the world. Like um um terrorists
Mm-hmm.
throwing bombs in churches.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like how you call yourself an American and you bomb in a church?
Yes.
Like where are the boundaries? Right?
Mm-hmm.
The police sicking attack dogs on American citizens that only wanted to silently protest. Right?
Right.
So even if today you feel like today things are spiraling out of control, no, man, you can't. We have to have perspective. We have to back. Now, are things important? Yes. To me, there is a line of demarcation. The George Floyd murder was to me, in my opinion, and I'm not telling you to side with me or be or oppose what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, listen. When those in authority feel like they can murder people just because they are in authority, means we have a problem with the system. But at the same time, this is not unique.
Mm-hmm.
This is always going on. This has always been, no matter what history book you read, no matter how far you go back, authoritarianism, the flexing of one's power over another, just because you have the right to do it, has always been around. Always. It's always been around.
I agree.
Right? And so now when we face it today in a different form, we think that it's new, but it's not really new. It's the same as it always was. It's just the authoritarianism has a different resource, a different way to do it.
I get your point. I get your point. I understand because we always think what we're going through right now is harder than anything else.
Right.
But then you go back and you talk to someone who was a slave, and they're like, wait, I got it
What?
way easier
What?
than
Y'all
us.
work 8 hours? You had your own house?
You got
You got the
paid.
freedom to practice your own religion?
Yes.
Right? You can marry someone and not fear that she'd be taken away from you?
Right.
What? Your kids, you can raise your own kids? Yeah.
You can choose your own name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the reason I went there because it kind of leads into our next conversation or sets up the conversation because yo we're not operating in a place of logic anymore. We're operating in the land of delusion, and that's dangerous. That is extremely dangerous. um I can't get on board on it. Like uh to the listeners that may be a part of the LBGTQIA plus E equals MC squared. Um Things are going a little too far. And I don't feel like it should be people of the hetero community saying something. I think it should be someone from your community like, all right, we're going a little too damn far here. Let's step back before we get before things turn on us. Our original conversation was about the trans community wants to ban Aretha Franklin's Natural Woman because it's offensive to them. And I'm like, wait a damn minute. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. When do we get to say things are offensive to us and you stop doing it?
Right.
Like, go ahead. I'm gonna let you rock.
No, go ahead, bro. I'm listening.
Oh no. I'm one, I don't want to get your channel taken down. I don't want the channel to get taken down. I don't want our screen to go black in the middle of the broadcast. It's just, yo, we gotta there has to be a line. There has to be a line drawn like, yo, man, I understand you're going through something. I don't completely understand it. As a human being, as an American, you have a right to do whatever you want to do, as long as it's legal. Now, you do something illegal, you're on your own. I ain't standing there. I ain't standing behind you. I'm not supporting you.
Okay.
But we lie to people so much because we want people to lie to us. Oh man, that looks good. Oh man, you got a nice whatever. Oh man, I didn't know. So that when it's your turn to receive compliments, you get them. And when you don't, you feel some type of way. Um, how you feel is how you feel. You can't debate someone's feelings. You can't,
Okay.
because you're not going to be right because you're not that person. Like, oh man, your toe can't hurt that bad. I got shot in the foot and that hurts worse. I ain't never been shot in the foot. I don't know how that feels.
Right.
But to me, this is the worst pain I ever had in my life. So how you going to tell me it don't hurt that bad?
Right.
Your threshold for pain may be higher than mine. But don't tell me I'm wrong. don't
Right.
tell me, don't tell me I'm wrong because it doesn't align with how you feel.
Right.
You can't argue a secondhand emotion, man. You can't.
Right.
So you feel a certain way on the inside, that's cool. You want to dress and do certain things, that's fine. But yo, man, let's stop before we go too far and we can't reel this thing back in. I saw some skits that I thought was hilarious, but I got the premise. You don't know how to speak to people these days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because someone could tell you tomorrow, I identify as a video camera.
Mm.
And here's I'm gonna send you the clip. I'm gonna send you the clip. There was I think like a women's rights rally or something like that, and these guys were out there, you know, doing interviews or whatever. And one of the ladies holding the sign said, "You have to stop recording. You can't record over here." And he was like, "You can't talk to him like that. He identifies as a camcorder." You should have seen the look on her face because now she's trying to process it because of all of the things that has happened in the past, you know, 20, 30 years. Okay. Then another lady says to the guy who's doing the interview, "Well, you're a man, so you would understand these issues." And she was like, "Well, how can you just say I'm a man?
Right.
How do you know I don't identify as a woman?" Gets quiet. Well, I mean, well, and then they walk away because they didn't know what to say. They didn't know how to combat that. And then I'm saying to myself, like, yo, I know you're a man because you look like one. you look like a man.
Right.
But anyway, I think it's time out for pretend, man.
Right.
Imagination is wonderful. As a kid, you used to imagine everything. Yo, me and my brothers and sisters used to play a game called Hot Lava. I know some of y'all gonna laugh, but back when I was a kid, we had toys and things like that.
Okay.
But after you don't play with them so much, like the next thing you have to come up with games, right? Come up with things to play, right? Take some old toys or some old games and flip it and make it new. So we would have this game where we hop from, porcelain tile to porcelain tile, and if you step on a crack, that was the hot lava, and you lose and you have to start over. And man, we would be in there having so much fun, jumping from one bed to the next,
Right.
holding on to the wall, like, oh, don't you fall, that kind of thing. And it was fun. It was fun. As a matter of fact, over the holidays, me and my sister were laughing about that. We were laughing about all of the silly things we would do as kids.
Right.
And it was kids using their imaginations, pretending to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when you play house, play doctor. You know what I'm saying? You're pretending to be these things, even though you're not. When the game was over, that was it. if I'm not playing that game, yo, I shouldn't be held to those rules. Like you don't go in soccer, you don't go to a soccer game as a refing a soccer game as if it's a basketball game.
Okay.
Because the rules don't apply. The rules aren't the same.
Right.
Those rules don't apply. Listen, man, I ain't playing soccer with y'all. That's all. That's all I'm trying to say.
I'm split on that.
Okay.
Right. I'm split on it because of two things. And so the older I get, the more I realize I am very liberal, right? I'm very liberal. So for those that don't know my stance, bro, I'm probably the most liberal person you ever met in your life. Right?
Yes, sir.
I'm like, yo, everybody be free. Not anarchy liberal. Now, not that. You know what I'm saying? I'm also in that mindset of you got to earn your keep. Ain't no free rides. But I'm also like, you know what I'm saying? If we earn our keep, give everyone the opportunity to earn their keep. You feel me? And so my thing is, I think our society suffers from people that don't know their true selves and from people that are trying to impose themselves on others. Right? Like, for instance, when I first got in the game, like when I first got in corporate America, everybody was like, yo, you can't wear a baseball cap to a meeting. And I was like, but I like the Mets. And you got it on backwards? Why you wearing it backwards? It's because I like the way. And my manager, but they look at you like you a fool. They don't even want to hear what you got to say. But it's just I'm like, but it's just a hat. He's like, well, why can't you wear an Oxford hat? An Oxford hat? I'm not from Oxford, bro. I'm black.
Yeah.
And so he like, yo, well, what does being black have to do with a hat and the Mets? And I'm like, well, what is you telling me that I have to look a certain way in order to be accepted? And tell my man, yo, I feel like me and you need to go to HR right now. And he's like, oh, you playing that card? You gonna play the black card? No, bro, I'm not playing the black card, bro. I'm not playing I'm playing the black card. I'm playing the you accepting me for who I am card. But you black. But bro, when I said when I said I'm black, you was like, well, what does that have to do with Oxford? Uncle Freezy, why you gotta make stuff so difficult? Bro, why do I have to be like everybody else? Why can't I just be the man that God created me to be? God didn't create you with a Mets hat on. I know that. But he created me with the free will to accept the fact that I can wear a Mets hat whenever I want to. Well, no, man, we're gonna have to make some dress code changes. Okay. Do your dress code changes. So instead of allowing somebody to be who we get a sheet like the same dress code changes come down the pipe so fast. You ain't never seen it, and that you ain't never seen. Because basically in corporate America, what happens is you run these things by lawyers and all these things, like 9 different lawyers have to read it. You have to do, like, the supervisors have to pass up what they want. They pass it to their bosses. Their bosses say what they want, and then they give it to the lawyers. The lawyers look at all, you know what I'm saying, what's legal and what's not, you know what I'm saying, and then not to be offensive, and they say all that stuff, right? And so all of that, because I can't wear a Mets hat in a meeting backwards with investors and clients. And I probably should have known better. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, because as I got older, I realized it's not it's not that they didn't accept me, because they know who I am, and they know when I get in these meetings, bro, you ain't gonna get nothing past me. That's why I'm in the meeting in the first place. But to new people who don't know me,
Yes, sir.
they're like, that fool sitting over there with a Mets cap on backwards and it's dirty. So I just feel like I think better with this hat on. It's my vibe. Chuck, you ever had to get into like a mood, a vibe,
Absolutely.
in order to do something?
Oh yeah.
That was my vibe, bro. I feel like, I put this Mets cap on. It gets me into this mental space where I'm kind of free to, because I'm always sharp, but sometimes in your sharpness, you'll miss something because you are razor sharp on these things. But then if something different comes along, you may not be razor sharp in that thing. You might miss something. Right. See, because the thing is, okay, for instance, like with products, you can design, and I'm not getting off your topic. I'm gonna get back to the self-identifying part. I just want to say this just real quick. With like when you create a product, it doesn't matter how good the product is, right? It doesn't matter how good or how bad the product is. The thing that's important about that product is, will people buy it? That's the bottom line. It don't matter if your product is good, right?
Right.
Listen to the music nowadays, Chuck. Listen to music nowadays. All the new artists. How much of this new music are you thinking you're gonna buy?
None.
Right.
No, some. Let me not front. Some.
Right. But you have resources now, and you buy some. Back in the day, you had limited resources, and you bought some. Right. But in your limited resources era, you bought the best of the best. Right. There was a competition. Now you buy some because you feel like the product is diluted. So what I'm getting at ultimately on a tangent, man, and I'm sorry, man, but when we're talking about identity, I think some people don't know who they are as people, right? And I think some, in terms of identity, I think some want to make their personal perception of what's acceptable. They want to push that on others, right? They want to push it on others, right? And then others, and then some struggle so much with not knowing who they are, they accept what is comfortable with them, what makes them feel good, right? I think that's a lot. And I'm listening, and I'm not talking about people with, hey Mo, what's that saying? That binary. Like people that have a binary gender. What is it? Binary gender? Is that it?
Yeah. Binary.
Non-binary.
Non-binary.
Hold on, let me get the saying right before I.
Okay. So let me see. Salute the Alpha Griffin in the building. Absolutely, C-Mac. God created him to be the #1 chief rocker. Listen, man, you can individualism, being unique is something that we all crave and strive for. We also crave and strive for acceptance, right? In the groups and in the communities that we live in, no one wants to be the outcast or ostracized, anything like that. I usually leave people to their own devices because I understand that everyone is not the same. And what I like, you may not like. What's cool to me may not be cool to you. But the thing is, when you don't get the response you want, or what you think you should get, doesn't mean everybody got to now change because of your feelings. Like back in the late 80s, early 90s, airbrushing was huge. Airbrush jeans, airbrush jackets, airbrush t-shirts, sun visors, all of that. It was huge. And you would want your airbrush fit to look totally different than others, right? But
Thank you.
there were people that were outside of our community, right? Would see all these kids with these graffiti outfits on and drawings, and it seemed weird and strange to them. Like, why would y'all buy a jean jacket and then immediately destroy it by putting all this stuff on it, right? That's a waste of money. But to the people that were doing it, it's like, nah, I'm expressing myself this way.
Okay.
We ain't try to change anybody else. Man, y'all still wearing Dockers and or Bugle Boy jeans? What's wrong with y'all? Y'all need to be wearing this. No, we wore what we wore. We did what we did. If you liked it, fine. If you didn't, oh well. Because this is the person that I'm trying to show the world. And listen, everybody's not going to agree with you. And if they don't, they ain't got to stop your show.
Right.
They ain't got to change nothing. I remember the first time I saw somebody wearing one red sneaker, one black sneaker with a red and black striped shirt. And I was like, my mind was blown. They were the same. Yo, he got a tube head. What? This is crazy. Thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Okay.
But my auntie, now that don't make no daggone sense. Got on 2 different color sneakers.
Right.
Spending all that money. Right? She didn't understand it. She didn't get it. It was a ridiculous notion to her.
Right.
But to me and my cousins and the rest of the kids, it was like, yo, I can't wait. I'm gonna do the same thing because we liked it. But again, nobody tried to tell my aunt she was wrong because she wearing Buster Browns and not wearing 2 different color shoes. She not wearing her skirt to the back. She's not wearing her dresses in a 4X. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one is telling her she's wrong for the way she's thinking. It's just you don't get what we're doing. And that's fine because it ain't for you.
Right. Right. Chuck, I had a classmate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I visited her church.
Uh-oh.
And right. And it was by accident. I didn't know this was her church. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we was like 8th graders, right?
Okay.
And where I'm from, like the ladies used to wear like the joint, like the split B in the back or whatever. And you see, when you ain't pay stuff like that no attention. This girl who I had a crush on, by the way, we had always been, for some reason, every story turns into Uncle Freezy's dating life before. I'm not trying to go there, right? What I'm saying is I had a crush on her and she liked me back, but for some reason we could never, it was always something in the way.
Yes, sir.
I go, Chuck, and I hear screaming. Now, mind you, You know how in the city you park way down the street and then you walk up the street, you walk up the block to the church. You know how parking is, right?
Yes, sir.
We walking up the street, you know what I'm saying? It's a church called St. John's. So we visited St. John's, I think it's St. John's AME, something. I forget what the church is in Jersey City, right? But we visit and we hear them in the alley screaming at her, right? And I'm like, what are they screaming about? And so we hear all this screaming, and it's the girl from my class, and she crying, right? And she was like, her people was making a stand, right? What it was, Chuck, is she had her skirt turned around with the split, like on the side where she walked, you could see her leg.
Oh,
and I
that's
was
a no-no.
like, Lord have mercy. Jesus. I like this church already.
There's a God.
There's a God somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So what it was, though, my grandmother saw it, and my grandma was like, oh my God, turn your head. That girl dressed like a hussy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So this thing is new to me. I'm to remind you, we kids, we like 13, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that age range. She walk up to me, she crying. She walk up to me, she see me, and then she turn the other way. But I see the way she walking with that skirt, and I see that thigh popping out, and like, good God Almighty, Lord have mercy. But the older folks in the church are conservative. Put that thing in the back. You can't show no leg with no skirt. What's wrong with you? And it's like one of them long dresses, like all the way down. It was like all the way down to her foots, all the way down to her feet. You know what I'm saying? I said foots for those of y'all listening in South Carolina, because we got some South Carolina followers too. They know what I'm talking about when I say foots.
Foots, yes, sir.
Foots, yeah. So I see her. I go try to talk to her. She crying. I'm like, hey, B, what's going on? This is my time. I finally get the opportunity to see her where ain't nobody blocking us, right? Ain't nobody blocking us. We finally get the opportunity to talk. Chuck, she crying. I look up. She got makeup on. Nah, and not little girl, not lip gloss.
Her lip gloss wasn't popping.
No, she got on lipstick.
Oh.
Yeah. She 13. She got on lipstick, right?
So this is 70 what?
This is like 81.
81. Oh.
Yeah, it's like 81, right?
Bro.
80, 81, 82, something like that. Right? So her mama, I'm like, yo, what's going on? She's like, my mama talk about I'm dressed like a tramp. I'm dressed like a hussy. I just wanted to try it. And her mother come over. She like, and I don't know why moms are like, what's the word? Where you nice and mean at the same time. What's the word?
Passive aggressive.
Passive aggressive. Mom, mad passive aggressive. Coming up, she like, hey boy. You know, like she's speaking, trying to be nice, but you can tell she mad. So she snatched the girl. Now, mind you, she 13. She not a little kid. She snatch her and take her, and then she come back outside. She crying, and she got her skirt wrapped back around the normal conservative way. She got all the makeup washed off, and we sit by each other in church. And so I'm like, I know this is not the right time or the right place, but I grabbed her hand. This is what I tell her. I know it's not the right time or the right place, but I grab her hand and I hold it when the pastor praying. You know, when the pastor pray and everybody hold their hands.
Right.
This is my time to hold her hand.
Right.
So I hold her hand, all this stuff, and she take her little thumb and rub on my hand, and I'm like, is this what it feel like? Is this the touch of a woman? This is what it. So I'm up and I'm standing up, like I'm a man now, right?
Yeah.
But I tell this story. I tell that story because knowing who you are and experimenting with who you are and who you may become is not always socially acceptable, especially when you're young,
Right.
right? Especially when you're young. All she wanted to do was try to be a woman. That's it. She's just experimenting. And me, I was like trying to experiment. Like, bro, listen, I honestly did not find out who I am as a person till I got to like 30, 35 years old.
Right.
I knew what I liked and disliked, right? And I knew what I would stand for and what I couldn't stand for, couldn't take, what I could take and couldn't take.
Right.
I understood how much patience I could have with certain things and what would send me off the rails. But I didn't know how to manage all that stuff at the same time. And that's what you call learning yourself, right? Now the whole time I'm learning myself, my bosses are like, "Hey man, you want to move up in the company, bro? You got to wear a shirt and tie to work every day." I ain't doing that shit. No, I ain't wearing a shirt and tie every day. Why? Because I'm not smart enough? No, it's not about being smart. You got to be the total package. This over here don't know nothing, but he wear a shirt and tie, and they like, well, you see, he moving up in the company. Why is he moving up in the company? Because he just wears shirt and tie, but he don't know shit from Shinola. But he moving up in the company. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. No, that's not talent. They're like, man, talent ain't nothing. That's when I learned, like, all these meetings, like dudes used to pull me in. They're like, bro, you got all this talent, man. Why don't you just do what we tell you to do, Uncle Freezy? Because I'm not that. I'm not a conformist, bro. You are not gonna make me be somebody who I don't want to be. Right? I watched too much Muhammad Ali growing up. I watched Muhammad Ali say, and this is part of the thing, Chuck, that I was going to get to the point that you said about 45 minutes, about 30 minutes ago. I think what we lack in this generation, and it's my fault, I'll take part of the blame. What we lack in this generation of people is people that will stand up for the right thing. We have too much people conform too much. Yo, a Mexican rapper shaved his head and replaced all his hair with gold chains. Did you see that?
Nah.
A Mexican rapper legit got a hair removal surgery and replaced hair with gold chains. So when you see him, he got gold dreads.
Okay.
Is that expressionism? Is that a thing of expression? Or is that a thing of him conforming to a weird culture? I don't know.
I don't know what culture that is. So I can't really say. I can't really say. Listen, in the two examples that you gave, those places, that church, that corporate setting had rules before you got there. Right?
Right.
If you choose to work at a certain place and they're saying you got to dress a certain way, then you got to do that to work there.
Right.
You can't go in there. We're supposed to wear, shirt and ties. I'm not wearing shirt and ties. I'm coming to work with assless chaps.
Right.
No, you can't. That's inappropriate. This is our company. you're representing our company. You need to look this way.
Right.
What
But
you want to do?
that's
Mhm.
before you bring something to the table, Chuck. That's before you
Okay.
bring. See, because think about it. Think about it. Say in the grand scheme of things, there's 100 companies in the United States that do what you do, right?
Mhm.
You are ranked 100. You bring me in, and all of a sudden, your company is ranked 87, right?
Mhm.
So just by me walking in the door, I take your company from 100 to 87. Because not only do I identify with your customer base, I help your customer base improve themselves, in turn, contribute more stuff to the company and make you money, right? Because think about it. If I wasn't an asset to the company, they could have just fired me. Man,
Right.
didn't I tell you such you fired? It'd have been simple as that. I'd have walked out the door and went to the company ranked 99 and made them company number 87.
Okay.
Like for instance, like Chuck owned a production company. Chuck produced something, say beats,
Mhm.
right? Chuck say, "Come in, Uncle Freezy. Listen, this is our stand. Our standard is you got to dress like Chuck Allen every day, and you got to do exactly what Chuck Allen say every day, right?" And I'm like, "Yo, well, why are you trying to hire me if you don't want Uncle Freezy?" Well, we've been trying to fill this spot, and we can't find the right person, right, for this spot. And then I'm like, okay, well, regardless, I'm never gonna be Chuck Allen. Period. I'm telling you that off the rip. I'm not gonna be Chuck, and I ain't gonna pretend to be Chuck. I ain't gonna dress like Chuck. I ain't gonna talk like Chuck. I'm gonna be Uncle Freezy every day and love it, right? Chuck, like, man, I see your resume. Let's give this thing a shot. I come in and I be Uncle Freezy. Chuck like, yo, come on, Uncle Freezy, man. Why you can't be like Chuck? Everybody in here is 50 employees. All of them like Chuck. I'm not them and they're not me. It's just saying I'm gonna be Uncle Freezy every day and love it.
Okay. Well, you got to do that somewhere else because
Okay.
these are the
And I'm
rules.
like, and I'm like,
These are
well,
the rules that
toodaloo.
are here.
And I'm gonna be like toodaloo. And then and it'd be like, and instead of going to say another company, I might start my own and be the competition to Chuck.
And that's what you should do. I'm not going
Right.
to change my rules because you want. Listen, if I'm hiring you, okay. I don't think this is a great analogy, but if I were hiring you, right, and I knew you had the talent, but you was eccentric, I'm going to accept your that about you because I value your talent,
Right.
right? The corporate world is different. Like you go to McDonald's, you can't go in there with your polo shirt and your Jordans. If they
Right.
ain't black, you can't have them on.
Right.
Oh, you want to wear True Religion jeans? Oh, okay. But if they ain't black, you can't come to work like that.
Right.
There's a standard that a lot of places practice. If you don't meet standards, they ain't gonna hire you. They ain't gonna want anything to do with you. And that's not to
Right.
say that you're not valuable and what you bring to the table isn't enough. It's listen, this is the structure that I have. You can't follow the structure, then yes, you might be better off starting your own company or working for someone else.
Yeah, because that's a bad employer. Yeah. And then we're gonna
Um,
put you then we're gonna go to lookingglass.com and list the entire conversation out there. So when employees be looking at, what I'm saying, what companies they apply to, they see all the feedback from that company trying to make you conform to a certain thing, and they are on the bottom of the totem pole and their realm. People will be like, well, that's why they can't get over the hump because they have an archaic way of thinking and they want people to come in and be like the unsuccessful guys that are already there. And we're not going to do that. Period.
Okay, then you by all means you go do that. But that company has a right to say this is what I want from my company. No, you don't get to go in there and tell the boss what to do. If you own
I
your
can
own business,
I can if I say that in the thing, bro. Listen, I'm not doing that. You hire me anyway. You just accepted it.
yeah,
It's just what it
yeah.
is. It is what it is.
I mean, you saying that, but that's not a reality. That doesn't happen every day.
So that is
People lose their jobs.
absolutely reality,
People
bro.
people
In,
who,
in a
who
in a
lose their
job
jobs like
in a
that
job
every day.
interview, two entities are interviewing each
Mhm.
other. In a job interview, two entities are interviewing each other. You don't go into an interview and then thinking, well, for the most part, they trying to figure out if you're a fit for them, and you trying to figure out if I can do this for either for a career or for a little while, depending on how you view this company, right? But you don't know that company like that for the most part before you
Mhm.
get there.
Mhm.
Because think about it, if you go when you're applying to a job and they come in and they treat you like a jerk in the interview, how are you really feeling about that company?
Right.
Like the company say something like, yeah, we only hiring one black person. We already got enough. They say something crazy off the wall like that. You still gonna accept what they say? No. You're like, oh, okay, this company right here. I see why they struggling. You know what I'm saying? So, some of the stuff we put, and so I believe in the beauty of industriousness and all of that, right? But I also know that everybody in positions of power ain't smart. I know that through experience. Everybody, everybody in position of power is not smart. It's why CEOs have committees and things of that sort, right? It's the reason why a CEO has a board or all the board, because the CEO may not be the smartest person. He just may be the most organized and the most inventive, but he might not be the smartest or not smart, the most intelligent. He might not be the most intelligent. If he's smart, he'll surround himself with intelligent people, allow them to be themselves as long as they ain't breaking the law, as long as they're not creeps, as long as they're not like sexually harassing the staff, they're not stealing money, as long as they got morals about them, then for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Okay. But okay. All right.
What happened though?
No, I was about to say the same thing twice. I ain't want to say the same thing twice.
Okay, so mm, 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 mm. So the original conversation that we were talking about is the trans community wanting to cancel or get rid of "I'm a natural woman" because it's offensive to them.
Okay.
But what about the women who find uh, empowerment in that song? They can no longer enjoy it because yesterday you decided that you wanted to be a woman. And because that you weren't born one, this song reminds you of that fact. So we have to get rid of it.
See, that's tough. That's tough because the thing about that, Chuck, is have they ever listened to the song or they just read the title?
I'm not sure.
Right.
I'm assuming it's the title.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's the title.
All right.
Go ahead.
I'm searching for the lyrics right now. All right.
Um, so, man, listen, man. Like you have a right. You can do whatever you want to do. It's your life. You can live it however you want to live it. But people don't have to. People don't have to champion you or support you in what you're doing. Um, People don't have to like what you're doing. It's your right to do that. But your right shouldn't overshadow mine.
Okay. So it's a rights debate then. Whose rights are more important?
Whose rights are more important? Yes.
Okay. Okay. I heard you make me feel a natural woman about a million times. Of course, that's hyperbole, right? I
Hmm.
just read the lyrics again, and I think it's all. I think it's bullying people picking a fight. I think
Hmm.
it's the Colin Kaepernick taking a knee thing,
Hmm.
right? That I think that's what it is. Now, of course, and now I'm not gonna say of course, but I'm not LB what is it? LG, not to be disrespectful to them.
LBGT.
I'm not gay or non-binary, whatever it is. Like
Hmm.
however they phrase it in
Hmm.
respect to them. I'm not that.
Hmm.
I'm a man and I like noonie only, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
me. That's me. I'm sorry, just the way that's just who I am. And I'm sorry for the way that I'm phrasing it, but I'm not being apologetic for who I am,
Hmm.
right? So if somebody's offended by that, I'm sorry about the way that I phrased it. But I'm a man that likes a woman, that loves
Hmm.
a woman, right? My thing is with the when you read the title says one thing, right? You make me feel like a natural woman. Then you read the lyrics. The lyrics are talking about how somebody's soul was sad before they met this person that made them, and I think it's innuendo to sex, right? That's what I think it is, right? Back then you couldn't just come out and say, I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. Back then you couldn't say that. You know what I'm saying? Now you could say whatever it is that you want to say in a song. Things are not censored like they once were, right? What I would say, what I would say to everybody is this: um the fact that somebody would be offended by someone else's artistry in that sense is just picking a fight. They just picking a fight. They just like, yo, I don't like the way that sound. Why they talking like that? I think we should cancel them. Nah, you can't. Nah, man. Nah, how you gonna cancel some and then not cancel? Because if you are saying that you don't want to be canceled, but you want to cancel somebody that's different, aren't you empowering the thing that is not empowering you? If you are, if you are, say, non-binary, or even gay, whatever it is, however you say it, however you phrase it, and you say you have a problem with a human expressing their sexuality, are you not empowering? And I think it's the geez, what's the saying? DSJ, what's the saying? We talked about it before. Um what's the saying where, oh geez. No, not cancel culture. It's when a victim loves the oppressor. I'm gonna find it. When a victim loves the oppressor. Stockholm syndrome. That's it. Stockholm syndrome. Are you not the one with Stockholm syndrome when you are the one that was oppressed? Hey, John, thank you. And so John says is LGBTQIA 25 plus people who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and or expansive, queen, or questioning, intersex, sexual, or two spirit. The two spirit part is the only thing I have issue with, and that's because of my religious beliefs. Right now, the other stuff I have, a small issue with because of my religious beliefs. But at the same time, the two spirit thing is kind of what kind of is a touchstone for me. Oh, you said queer. Okay. Yeah. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. So if you are the LGBTQIA 25 plus, how do you address said issues without looking as if you have Stockholm syndrome? Benny got mad at me because I said queen instead of queer. I'm sorry, y'all. So the Stockholm syndrome thing to me is I'm not gonna say root. I'm not gonna say root, but um oh, 2S, not 25. Okay, 2S, not 25. My bad. I'm blind. I can't see. I need to wear some gazelles like DMC. My bad. My bad. It lets you know how informed I am about said things, right? Not saying that I am legit uninformed and intentionally, or that what their feelings don't matter to me. What I'm saying is, when you make the argument that your feelings matter over somebody else's feelings, are you not empowering the people that don't care about feelings to not care about them for the sake of you feeling comfortable? Right? Right? I think we go along the lines of like the hidden ball trick now. Like my feelings are more important than their feelings. Right? And John says it's a lot to absorb, especially because it's so fluid. What fluid is a good way to put it. Shout out to Atlanta, which is very Atlanta, Georgia is very fluid. Very. Shout out to Atlanta. Y'all doing y'all thing down there. I saw John, no lie. I was in Atlanta 2 years ago, maybe. I was in Atlanta maybe 2 years ago. Maybe 2 years ago, I was in Atlanta. And Chuck, I was on the elevator. I was on the elevator, right, in Atlanta, Georgia, with a dude about 6'10", about 300 pounds, and was shredded, ripped, right? Think about this. Think about Michael Clark Duncan at about 6'10", right? 6'10", right? Think about the Green Mile, about 6'10", except skinnier,
Okay.
right? A little bit skinnier, like 300 pounds. I think Michael Clark Duncan was like 350, 360, right? Think about a dude about 6'10", about 300 pounds, right? No shirt on, just overall. No shirt on, just overalls, right? You know the denim overall?
Yes, sir.
You know the Bo and Luke Duke overalls? Dukes has it.
The Uncle Jesse's.
Yeah. Uncle Jesse. Uncle Jesse. The door opened, and I'm like, God damn, this big as a. And he says to me, "You ain't gonna help me with my bags." Right? He got the cart full of bags and all this stuff on it. And I'm like, and no lie, John, no lie. You know, y'all been around me long enough to be like, hell no, I ain't helping you with your bag. Get your own bag. Y'all know it's Jersey. It's Jersey City. I can't help it. Right? Big and strong as you is, man, if you don't stop holding up my elevator, Green Mile gets on the elevator, pulls the thing in between us. And I was like, man, big as you is, you talking about getting somebody to help you with a bag? But I already gave you something. No, you would. Green Mile, look. No. Right. And so my mom, who was downstairs, she went to the event with me, right?
Yes.
She see me gets off the elevator, like Green Mile got Chuck, you know what I'm talking about. You know when you stay in these expensive hotels, they have the carrier for you to put your bags and all that stuff on. The gold thing, you pull it, whatever.
Yeah, the car. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I get out. So I'm out there. I'm like, Mom, and look. And so we live in a small town in South Carolina. So I'm like, and I talked to my mother. I'm like, Mom, look, the Green Mile talking about helping with his bags. And so my mother's like, why didn't you help him? And so Green Mile is like, he's so rude. And I'm like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Green Mile is 6'10", I know he's 6'10" because he was at least 6 inches taller than me, right?
Okay.
At least 6 inches taller than me, at least. So I'm saying 6'10" being conservative, right? And about 300 pounds. And I ain't got nothing against conch shell necklaces, but the
That's a giveaway there, bro.
Hey, little something. No shoot, whatever. So Green Mile and his friends are in the lobby. I'm waiting downstairs as me, my mom, and I think Jay Boogie was upstairs, and Hoodie Kev was getting breakfast, right? So I'm like, so the whole thing was weird. I'm like, Hoodie Kev, why you getting breakfast and we about to go to the Waffle House? Hoodie Kev was like, I just wanted to get something to eat before. Yo, shout out to Hoodie Kev, who legit eats like he's 9 years old. Bro, I have never seen a man eat like he was 9 years old. Right? So we send. So Hoodie Cab comes out, right? Hoodie
Mhm.
Cab come out with like the um the Dixie bowl or whatever it is full of cereal he eating. We waiting for the valet to bring the car around. Hoodie
Right.
Cab see the Green Mile. He like Hoodie Cab's like, dang, Hoodie Cab. Just imagine Hoodie Cab with like a mouthful of cereal or something. Hoodie Cab is like, damn Atlanta Fluid. Like, I ain't never heard, I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? It didn't dawn on me like you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to people for being who they are, right? Shout out to people being who they are. What I'm saying is your rights don't press upon your stuff, your belief system on others. Like that's all I'm saying. Like if you don't want me to do it, if you like it, like I could have said to Green Mile, like tighten up, man. Tighten up, right? If you don't want me to say stuff like that, then don't oppress upon me like what it is that you're doing. Because ultimately, if you live your life. So live your life. Yeah. Whatever. If you live in your life, don't. And so this goes back to what Chuck and I were saying about certain things. Yes. Yes. I read your comment. Yes. Yo, we fell out, bro. We fell out. Laughing. I'm talking about dying, bro. Dying. Bro, I'm talking about but yeah, so but the thing of the reason why I even brought that up, man, part of it, I know I went off on a tangent, man, but the thing I'm saying is if Chuck, what I brought up was Stockholm syndrome. You know how the victim is being victimized, but then but the victim loves the oppressor, starts to love the oppressor.
Right.
Like when I tell the story about how my great whatever, my ancestor from back in the day, when
Yes,
it
sir.
came time for emancipation, you know what I'm saying? The
Yes, sir.
one he kept leaving, he kept running away, and they kept catching him and
Right.
beating him. He was the one that, a man is born free or whatever. When emancipation came, Juneteenth, all that,
Mhm.
when emancipation came, he was like, yo, nah, we leaving, we getting out of here. But I had family members that stayed. They don't even share my last name to this day, but they still my relatives,
Right.
right? Because they loved Mr. Thompson so much, they wanted to stay, but he was the oppressor. They had Stockholm syndrome. And I think that's what a lot of people have now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how are you going to try to bash Aretha Franklin after her passing about a song about her feeling like what was natural to her because you feel like it's unnatural to you and it makes you feel some type of way? To me, it's odd. It's odd, bizarre, and peculiar behavior.
It. I personally think these are not the thoughts and comments of vibes and stuff, or even live in the morning or Uncle Freezy. These are Chuck Allen's and Chuck Allen alone thoughts and opinions. It's not wanting to look in the mirror, right? Because you're not.
Okay.
If you're trans anything, then you're not naturally what you transition to. Because when you transition, we're not talking, if you look up the definition of transition, it's changing from one thing to another,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Um, if the doctor told you to drink some water, hey, Uncle Freezy, you need to drink more water.
I know, Chuck.
And you show up with a glass of Kool-Aid.
Right.
Hey man, that's not water, man. You need to drink water.
Right.
How you going to tell me this is not water when it's mine? Because it got sugar and it got Kool-Aid in it. It got some red powder in there. It is no longer water.
Right.
I can respect the glass of Kool-Aid, right? Okay. But it's Kool-Aid. It's not water.
Right.
You're not water. And that's fine. Because guess what? I like Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid don't bother me.
Okay. I'm not, I ain't gonna lie to you. I know. Okay, so here's my stance on it. Mm-hmm. If we are gonna say, or if the prevailing thought is that men can't be attracted to other men, I think that's false. And if Absolutely. We're saying, and if we're saying that women can't be attracted to other women, I think that's false. Right? That's been around forever. That's not new.
No, it's not.
Right? Now the thing about men wanting to be women, that's not new. That's been around forever. Right? That's been around forever. Now, women wanting to be men, that's been around forever. Right? This is not Correct. Something that's new. Right? Now, how it's accepted has always been dicey. But today, in 2023, is getting more and more clearer. Right? It's more and more clearer. Right? The thing that I can't come to grips with is the two spirits in one body thing. I just can't. Because that sounds like multiple personalities to me. Right? I just can't, bro. I don't think that, and I know people are gonna say, yo, you never heard of multiple personality, such and such. No, I've heard of that before. Of course I have. I'm not an idiot. I understand. One of my favorite Marvel Comics thing is a joint called Moon Knight, and I know people don't watch it, right? But Moon Knight is basically a body that has multiple personalities, right? And I enjoy watching it because of the conflict, right? Because of the conflict. There's an origin story. Something tragic happened. The one personality tried to find a way to deal with the tragedy that was ongoing. So he dealt with it in a certain way. I get that part. Right. So I understand that it exists in theory, right? I just on a certain level, I just can't come to grips with it, bro. Like even and so the Bible, this thing that I go back to all the time, says a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Yes. That's biblical.
Absolutely.
Right? There was a Jesus Christ came across a man, right? On his path. He said, "Who are you?" Jesus knew who he was. He wanted the man to say it out loud, though, because it's one thing. See, when Jesus asked, he didn't say, "What is your name?" which is one thing. He asked, "Who are you?" And the response was, "We are legion, for we are many." And it's one person, right? Jesus took the spirits out of it, put them in pigs. The pigs immediately just ran off the cliff and killed themselves because they couldn't take it. So you can imagine what this one person was dealing with,
Yes, sir.
right? So when I hear people say that they are non-binary to spirited, you can't be, bro. Listen, I don't think you can be too spirited. I could even deal with the I could deal with the I could okay. So I could deal with the multiple personality part. I can't deal with the two spirit part. I just think one spirit inhabits one body. Period.
Period. Well,
That's my belief now. And I'm not imposing it on anybody else. And if you're offended by it, then I'm sorry that other people's opinions offend you. But that's a you problem.
Bim. Multiple personalities is a mental disorder. So is gender dysphoria. Even though they had it removed from medical and clinical books, it's a real thing. It's a mental illness. Now, here's the thing. I have family members. I have actually two family members that are one schizophrenic, one's bipolar schizophrenic.
Okay.
One day you'll see this cat with like 11 layers of clothes on, and it's 95 degrees outside.
Okay.
Another one of my cousins they don't leave their house.
Okay.
For nothing.
Okay.
If somebody passed away, oh well, they just passed away.
Okay.
They're not leaving. Literally everything has to be delivered to them, all this stuff. I don't disown them.
Is that a social anxiety disorder?
Schizophrenia?
No, the not wanting to go out in public.
Yeah, it could be social anxiety for sure.
Right. That's it, because social anxiety is a real thing, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Miles Davis had it. Like when you watch, and not, I'm not trying to change the subject, but if you watch Miles Davis, like he would look at the crowd, and if the crowd was like overwhelming him, he would turn around and show his back to the crowd. Like he would legit perform facing the other way. People forget about that. That'd be like if the chat got too overwhelming for me, I'll spin around in this chair and face Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and still do the show. And people are like, what the fuck? That's strange. Nah, it's peculiar, but it's a coping mechanism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, what was the rap? What's the rapper named DSJ? You can correct me. Alpha Griffin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Earl Sweatshirt. He used to do that. And people, oh, this was wrong with this dude. This was wrong with hip hop now. It's going down the drain. Guys don't even want to perform now. And I'm like, but the dude has social anxiety.
You know who else has that? Andre 3000. And that's why you don't have more Outcast stuff. It's not that he lost it. It's not like he crazy. He just has a anxiety. Like some people have anxiety. Like think about it. Think about this thing, Chuck. About us. We rock, right? You see me rock on the internet all the time. I have my camera on. I have my mic perfect, right? I have beautiful camera. All this stuff, right? Because I'm not like the fact that people are watching me doesn't bother me, but for some people, that having their camera on bothers them, even though they have something to say and they want to be heard. It bothers them, right? Like this thing, like they want to talk, they just don't want to be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like this thing, like And we see it all the time. We're like, why don't you come on camera? No, I'm good, man. I whatever. Right? It's one of them things, man.
Oh, for sure, man. Like, listen, man, even those things, I understand, but we recognize them as mental issues, or at least an issue, right?
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
We can acknowledge that, and we can adjust how we approach and treat people, right? With those what's the word I'm looking for? With those I don't want to say disabilities, but with those afflictions.
It's
right?
an issue. That's all it is. It's just an issue. That's all.
We understand that, and so we'll change things, right? I got a very good friend of mine. Their kid is autistic. She don't talk, but if she like you or she feel comfortable around you, she'll come stand right next to you. I mean, like inside your pocket next to you.
Right. Right.
She won't say anything. She might smile from time to time, but most times her eyes are up in the ceiling or somewhere else, and she'll just sit there all day, won't say nothing.
Right.
The first time I encountered it, one, I don't like people in my personal space. Right.
So you have an issue.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like unwanted touch.
Okay.
I don't.
In corporate settings, people come to you and they put their hand on your shoulder. Hey, Uncle Freezer. Bro, you could talk to me without, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, so I just don't, you know what I mean? And so I was not prepared. Like, no one said anything. Not that they had to say anything, right? But no one said anything that this, the little girl had these issues. I always assumed she was just a late bloomer.
Yeah.
Right. So we're having this little get together, and she does this, and I'm moved. Like, the heck? Because I'm also thinking, yo, this ain't my kid. I don't want nobody like, yo, why is that little girl all up on that man like that? You know what I'm saying?
So you have another issue. Okay.
Yeah, man. Wait, hold on. What do you mean I got another issue? I'm offended by that. What you talking about?
Right.
Like
that.
What you?
Right.
Is pedophilia not a thing? Isn't people go around touching? Yeah, that is absolutely a thing.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. I didn't even allude to you being a pedophile. That thought never even crossed my mind.
No, you said I had an issue, and I said I got a problem with that.
Right.
So my issue is I'm not this girl's father.
Right.
I am essentially a stranger.
Right.
And for her to be on me like that and not know me,
right,
inappropriate.
Right. Right. So what I was getting, so what I'm getting to is your issue is that you want to protect kids. Right? This is what I'm thinking when I heard you say that. Like, you want to make sure that kids and everything are protected. That's important to you. Is it not?
Absolutely.
Right. That has nothing to do with pedophilia. From you. Right? Is it not important? Because as soon as you said it, the thing I was thinking, like, yeah, man, this dude really care about kids. That's what I'm thinking. And there's also this weird perception too that when you come into this space, people are going to look at you like, why is this? Well, you just said it. Like, why is that little girl all up under like that? Yeah, you shouldn't be offended. You know, you should don't. Yeah, yeah. You don't take Don't be offended by that. Ain't nobody calling you coming out of pocket all sideways about pedophilia and all of that stuff. Yeah, that's man. Come on.
So once I found out what,
but let me ask this though.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask this though, right? And so my experience. So I have a strange experience. I'm not going to get into that too deeply. I ain't gonna throw my family business all out here on the internet or whatever. Even though it should, but I'm not gonna be the one to do it. My thing is that we should probably have more people like us that have this same thought. Like these, so because for one, you kind of took when you mentioned autism. I think we need to probably speak to that a little bit, maybe on a different type show. I have a nephew that's autistic that I love, and he talks. He's a grown up and he works, got a full-time job.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
he's still dealing with it. We knew something, but we didn't know quite because 20 years ago, 25 years ago, we didn't know what autism was.
Right.
We were still using we were still using stupid terms from the 60s. Right? Because we didn't understand certain like conditions and things of that sort.
Yes,
and
sir.
there was limited help back then. Limited services, limited help.
Yes, sir.
Back then. So when you were saying that, when you were talking about it, I was thinking like, yeah, man, my nephew TJ, my wife's sister's son is autistic. So when you was describing it, I'm thinking the whole time, like, you know what I'm saying, like how we got to protect this baby, make sure this baby have quality of life and all that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because
sir.
if you deserve a certain level of quality of life and you are willing to stand up to preserve a certain level or quality of life,
there you go.
And we have to be there to preserve that certain level or quality of life for those that can't defend themselves or do it on their own. So that was the mindset I'm thinking. Like the pedophilia part, man, that has nothing to do with whatever, but it does exist. What I'm speaking to is the fact that I recognize what you're talking about, and I have personal experience with it with somebody who's close to me and not a friend. You know what I'm saying? That I deal with it. Like when I go in the spot, I go inside, I'll be like, man, my man might be working, and all of a sudden, he'll come and jump on my back out the blue and start laughing, right? Mm-hmm. Because he know me, like he's gotten past these certain man. I don't want man. In terms of the autism thing, I think that's his own joint. I don't want to talk about it in the same episode as we talking about when people feelings be hurt and they want to be recognized. No, I ain't want to do that. But I understand where you're coming from.
All I'm saying is that person, once I understood what was going on, okay.
But nobody explained it at first, right?
No one explained it. Nobody said like, okay, so I hadn't seen the little girl since she was maybe not an infant, maybe a toddler, like 1 or 2, right?
Right.
And you knew something was wrong,
right?
Because you would call her name, and she would be.
But there's a sensory thing going on,
and we don't know. Her mom can't articulate. The places where they're going is just telling her, because they don't know, they haven't done the real test on her because of her complexion, pass her along, and it wasn't until they got with some other people, right? And they're like, nah, you need to take her and get this done, that done, this done, that done. And so she was given a diagnosis. She was put in a different learning environment. She like 17 now, Freezy. She still don't really. If she don't know you, she's not gonna talk to you,
Right.
right? And she still does the same thing. Like when if she feel comfortable around you, she like you, she'll she'll sit right up under you. And for me, it was weird because the first thing that jumps in my mind is uh
Hey, man, see, that's what I'm saying. The more we talk about this, the more I feel like uneasy. You know what I'm saying? Not uneasy in a sense that I don't want to talk about nothing. It's like when we talk, I know I'm touchy. I'm touchy about autism, right? So it's like the more we talk about, the more I feel like, man, I don't even feel like I would rather not rock it all, right? Because like when you say weird, I understand that you mean unfamiliar, but when I heard weird, I'm like, now I'm in this place where and I know you mean unfamiliar. I know
we
you
can
mean
move on.
unfamiliar.
We can move on. We can move
Yeah,
on.
yeah,
Let's,
yeah,
let's, let's go ahead and move. Let's go ahead and move
yeah.
on.
Let's get back to Stockholm syndrome, folks, man. Because you know what I'm saying. Because
Here's the
these
thing.
people are in control. Because the people with
Biologically,
autism are not in control.
that's not, and me bringing that up was not to compare the two things at all.
Right.
It was my level of uncomfort. I didn't understand what was going on, but once I understood what was going on, it was all good. Okay, I know how to maneuver. I don't know what's going on in this community. I don't
Right.
know because I'm not a part of it. But if you tell me this is what you want to wear, whatever you want to wear, you want to present yourself, however you want to present yourself, I'm cool with that.
Right.
That's your life.
Okay.
It don't change nothing over here.
Okay.
It don't change anything over here. If they're saying you can't live in this building because you were born a biological man and you transitioned into a woman, and they're saying you can't live there because of that, I'm out there with a picket sign. That's
Right.
discrimination.
I'm with you.
That's
Yep.
wrong.
Yep. I'm with
You
you.
might not like what you see. You may not even agree with it, but that's them, and you can't tell them they can't be here because of that.
Right.
If you're saying they ain't paying their rent or whatever, that's one thing. But just because you don't agree with it, nah, son, I can't
Right.
roll with you on that.
Right.
Oh, you arrived for that because right is right and wrong is wrong.
Right. Because we riding for humanity. It's the humanity aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. So the thing is, if okay. Now, if it was a thing where they were throwing like weird now and y'all listen before we get offended, just listen to what I'm saying. If it's a thing where they was throwing like weird, gay parties all times of day and night, the key word to that is not gay, it's parties,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they doing something, what I'm saying, that disrupts
Mm-hmm.
the neighbors, okay. I'm like, well, it don't have nothing to do with people's sexuality. It has everything to do with, say, a pattern of behaviors or something. Like, why y'all want to throw parties on Wednesday night 4 till 4 o'clock in the morning? That don't matter if you gay or straight, black or white, old or young. The key is that you're disrupting neighbors. So I'm like, nah, I ain't riding with you on that one. If they want to kick you out because you disrupting your neighbors, okay. But based on gender or race or age, sexuality, sexual preference, all that, nah, man, we can't. Nah, you just can't discriminate on people because nah, you can't do that. Come
No,
on.
it's
Yo, Chuck, I ain't gonna lie. A dude told me one time, he was like, yo, I hate the fact that they got handicapped parking spots up front. Why they got handicapped spaces up front, man? Why can't handicapped people park where everybody else parking? And what'd you say? He's like, yeah.
yeah,
And I was like, bro, you don't know how stupid you sound? He like, nah, man, it ain't right.
it is.
Bro, a dude, I'm telling you, he to this day, Chuck, to this day, he can't wrap his mind around parking spaces up front. for people with disabilities. He cannot wrap his mind around it, bro. He offended by it. This country too soft.
Word.
Yeah. And not changing the subject, but what I'm saying is the way people think about certain things boggles my mind. Right? Boggles my mind. Everybody, it seems as if we're taking this victim shit too far. Everybody's like, what about me? Like the white lady on Donahue that was arguing with Louis Farrakhan about
I was going to play that joint. Oh man.
The what do you call it? When black people get an equal opportunity. She was arguing with Louis Farrakhan about equal opportunity. Really? She was like, but we are offended because we don't get the same chance as what? You don't get the same chance as other racial groups. You are complaining on national TV about this, and you believe this. Come on. In my mind, I think it's too much, maybe too much of this everybody is a victim thing. Because some people are victims for real, and we have video evidence of it.
Yes, sir.
We have video evidence of Emmett Till. We have video evidence of Rodney King. We have video evidence of George Floyd. We have video evidence of people like my uncles and them. They don't talk about Detroit and all that stuff in the 60s. They still got scars from dog bites on their arms and stuff. Right now, they show it to me. Right? I could, like, when we be playing spades, when they be talking that shit to me because they be trying to run to Boston, I could still see the scars on their arms. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And then others who don't have any of this stuff, they want the same level of compassion from society because they wanted the Mercedes, but they only got the BMW. Really? How about you got the BMW even though you wanted a Mercedes, but all we want to do is sit wherever we feel like it on the bus. We don't want to sit on the back of the bus.
Right. Victimhood is where it's at. This is why I appreciate what we're doing here in the morning, the conversations that we have. If you go watch some of this other stuff, everybody wants to be the victim. You like even people that are in positions where they are oppressing, they still want to play the victim.
Right. The state of Florida is like that right now. The state of Florida is like that right now. Right? They don't want you to learn about Black history and history of something's in their publicly funded universities.
Yeah, who's the governor? Is it Rob DeSantis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's again, I feel like it's one of those things where people don't want to look in the proverbial mirror at themselves. We can't teach Black history because it makes the white students feel bad.
Right.
Word?
Right.
Word? That picture of Jerry Jones when he was 14. People, he was only 14 when he was there. Those kids were only like 13, 14 trying to go to their school.
Right.
Listen, to see the raw footage of what happened at Little Rock, Arkansas, and other places, they were hitting babies with rocks and bricks. Right. They children for wanting to go to school.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then somehow to make Jerry Jones the victim in that situation, I wanted to kick Stephen A in his jaw.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are you mother flipping kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
Right.
But again, everybody wants to because it's sweet being a victim. Everybody pats you on the back when you're a victim. People want to send you money and get behind your cause. You selling these t-shirts, I'll buy 1,000 of them.
Right.
For whatever,
Let me
feel like being victimized. Yes,
say
sir.
this thing to the Jerry Jones thing.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
I don't know all the details, but listen, I'm gonna tell you about somebody I do know that was in a similar situation to Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Like I met a man, I guess it's been about 10 years ago. He passed on now. He was raised in a segregated society.
Sure.
Right. White
Mm-hmm.
dude, older white dude.
Mm-hmm.
When he met me, everybody around him was, Southern white gentleman, Christian,
Mm-hmm.
Saying stuff like, you got to be disciplined. You're not racist. We just feel like, you got to have a certain level of right. And so there was another guy, like a group of guys. They were Southern black gentlemen, same level education, things of that sort. Everybody friendly, but when you get people divided into groups, you hear different like conversations or whatever.
Yes.
This guy, now it's like 100 people, whatever. He picks me out of a group. He liked me. Like at first I thought it was like because I was his pet project, right? I was just like his pet project, right? Like he think he can turn me into, a white boy, right? Something like that. Like he hear the way I talk to my coworkers, and then
You
he
thought
hear
it
me
was
on
a
the
trading
phone.
places situation.
Ultimately, it was not true, but
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm saying is that's what I thought it was going to be,
Yes, sir.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking to my coworkers like, man, you crazy, motherfucker, you blah blah blah. I'm talking like, Chuck, I speak as if I lived in a garbage can my entire life, right? But in front of customers,
Right.
in front of customers, in front of investors, in front of stakeholders or shareholders, I'm that guy. Excellent vocabulary, right? Excellent vocabulary. Worked on it a
Absolutely.
lot. You know what I'm saying? But I could easily flip the switch. Like telephone ring, I could hold the phone like, man, y'all crazy. Y'all better get me another number 7 and hurry up. Y'all know I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yo, thank you for calling. This is Uncle Freezy, blah, blah, blah. Oh, hey, such and such, man. I was just working on such and such for you. I sent the email yesterday. I don't know if you got the chance to read it, but I outlined certain things. Blah, blah, blah. This is me talking to like an investor.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in the break room, right? In the break room.
Yes.
Breaking. And you know how black people break. When we break, we
break.
bro. when we break, right?
Yes.
So I'm in the break room. I'm in there like 20 minutes on my 15-minute break. And he like, hey, Uncle Freezy, why you always do that? Why you stealing from me? I'm like, what? He's like, man, every day you take like a 25-minute break on your 15-minute break. And if I said something to you about it, this is him being real, right? This is him being real, right? No phony baloney. I was wrong, and I knew I was wrong. He pointed it out, and I knew he was right.
Yes.
Right? I ain't about to argue over something, and I know I'm wrong. So he asked me, and I was like, well, I was basically seeing how much I can get away with. He's like, why? I was like, I don't know. It just is. And then so we started talking. He's like, I was like, I was like, I don't know. I feel like by doing little things like this, I'm empowering myself. And he was like, yo, if you want to be empowered, why didn't you just ask us for help? We can help you empower yourself. And so I go into this thing, I break down. I'm like, man, and I said in an inappropriate term. I was like, y'all rich white boys don't want to help empower a person like me. I'm from the gutter. Why would you want to help me? Right? He's like, white boy. And then the dude's 70, Chuck. The dude was 70 at the time. So, 70, like 68, 70.
Right.
He's like, rich white boys. I never heard you talk like that before. He called me in the office. We sit in the office. Chuck, no lie. I sit in his office all day. My boss come and check on me twice. Right? My boss like, hey, you still in here with him? And he is the owner. He like, hey, get out of here. If I need your help, I'll call you. My boss took his tail and leave. Right. So later on in the afternoon, he takes me to lunch.
Yes.
Continue the conversation through lunch. We come right back. I'm headed to my day. He's like, no, we ain't finished. Go right back in his office. We talk to like 3:20, 3:30 in the afternoon. Right.
Right.
You're basically saying, like, why are you afraid to let others help you? And I'm not afraid. I'm just not used to it. Usually, the hand out is usually the one that slaps you back down. I learned that. He's like, not every hand. Right? Like not every hand.
Right.
And he said this thing that I tell people all the time. He said, nobody gets anywhere in life without the help of others. Nobody.
Fact. That's a fact. I'm clapping that up.
Yeah, that's what he tell me, right? And I was like, yo, nobody, you know what I'm saying? I never heard that from anyone. Because mind you, Chuck, I am okay. Think about this. You come from the slums of the inner city, right? This is what you know.
Yes.
Right? You got family down south, they country, they bumpkins. Not saying that they're not intelligent, but the life they live is slower paced. They don't care nothing about no other stuff. They live in a simple life. Yes. Right? So you have this mix of city mouse, country mouse. You prefer the city, your people from down south.
Right.
Right? The people down south, like, don't trust nobody. Right? Don't trust nobody. Right? The people up north is like trying to be slick. You can get whatever, man. You just gotta hustle. Mm-hmm. Which is bad advice. Hustle is not what you want to tell somebody to do. You want to tell people to work hard, be consistent, work on your stamina. Your mental stamina is just as important as your physical stamina. Your emotional stamina is just as important as your physical stamina. You can run a marathon, but emotionally, if you don't have stamina, you're a weak person. Right? Because somebody can say, hey, Uncle Freezy, you suck. And then I just quit on the spot and never do it again. That means I don't have the emotional stamina or endurance to endure. Right? Learned that from this guy that I talked to. He was like, yeah, you got to, man, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you know what? All right. So then on, I started taking my 15-minute breaks, bro. I timed myself. How long does it take to get to the break room? Get back to your desk. You know what I'm saying? And what I learned from that is he was watching me, but the people in my group were watching me too, and I didn't recognize it. So when I stepped up, start doing leadership stuff, they started coming to me more and investing in me as a leader.
Yes, sir. Because
when I was one of them, they're like, I ain't going to him for what? He worse than me. So now you got this thing going on where it's like while Chuck say is watching Dr. Dre, right? In terms of production, people that are behind Chuck are watching Chuck. But Chuck don't know it because Chuck got his eyes on something else. Chuck got his eyes on Dr. Dre. But dudes that are trying to produce, they watching Chuck. They watching vibes. They're like, dang, I wonder how Chuck got that beat. I wonder what Chuck inspiration was on all that.
Right.
Right. But Chuck don't see it because Chuck see one thing. Chuck got his eyes focused on other stuff, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But
Yes, sir.
but what happened is like with me, and I'm going to say this for me, when I started focusing on myself and making myself better, I could look at Dr. Dre and them people that was looking at me because I'm improving myself, but by knowing who I am and improving myself. You know what I'm saying? Now I know that sounds like we went off the rails, but the thing that I wanted to say that about the Stephen A. Smith thing, the dude that taught me that was in that Jerry Jones situation, right? Now I don't know Jerry Jones personally, but I do know you can come in, you can grow up in a segregated thing, step out of it, and help others by evolving as a person. Do I know that Jerry Jones evolved as a person? No, but I do see how he treats black people.
Yes.
I see how he went out of his way for Des Bryant, right? How he used to talk to Des Bryant, right? It's one of them things. If you don't know the story about Jerry Jones, about how Jerry Jones took a Mexican quarterback and made him a Dallas Cowboys legend.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So for you know who the Mexican quarterback Jerry Jones turned into a Dallas Cowboys legend? Tony Romo. Look at what Tony Romo doing now. Look at what Tony Romo did as a Cowboys quarterback, and look at his celebrity status after playing for the Cowboys. Right. All the Dallas Cowboys quarterbacks before Tony Romo, all of them went on to have media success, or most of them went on to have media success. You're talking about Don Meredith, who was on Monday Night Football with Howard Cosell and Frank Gifford.
Yes.
Right. You're talking about Roger Staubach.
Yep.
Right. You're talking about Troy Aikman.
Let's go.
Right. Now you're talking about Tony Romo. Right. Now look at their quarterback, Dak Prescott. Look at the way Dak Prescott moves. Listen to the way he speaks. Right. When Dak career over, he's going to be on that same path as Meredith, Staubach, Aikman, and Romo. Right. That same path. And so for those that don't that think I'm just making this stuff up, oh, this is just something to talk about. Nah, look at how the Carolina Panthers did Cam Newton. They ain't caring about Cam. Cam was a black quarterback, #1 pick, Pro Bowl, league MVP, all of that.
Got him to a Super Bowl.
They not even bringing Cam Newton back into the organization. Cam Newton has been out of football for a year. He not even special assistant to the assistant. Right? Then look at Jerry Jones and what he's doing with Dak Prescott. Look at the Eagles with Donovan McNabb. McNabb ain't even the assistant to the assistant. He not even calling Eagles games, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Come on, I want to give Jerry Jones a break because I saw Jerry Jones do some stuff for all mankind that I think is important. Right? Like, man, they should have been cut Ezekiel Elliott. What did they need Ezekiel Elliott for? Nah, they keep Ezekiel Elliott around because he's a cowboy. Right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Whether they win or lose. So the thing about Jerry Jones, I understand he was in that picture. There's nothing 80-year-old Jerry Jones can do about that picture of him. He was there. He know it. But he can't. But human beings can't rewrite history. And you've all done, anybody in this chat, you've all done something that you regret. Maybe didn't understand at the time, but as you get older, you regret it. Everybody in this chat.
You're not telling any lies at all. My issue was with Stephen A. trying to make him out to be a victim in the situation. I'm like, nah, man, not a victim. He might have not been doing anything. What is it? What is a a kid going to say to a bunch of adults? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And again, I understand the time. I understand the time. I understand people are, yo, what goes on in your household may not be going on in the rest of the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like your family have their principles and their morality that they put on you from a kid. Is once you go out and you see the world, and you add or take away some of the things that you've learned because you've learned some new stuff, right? But whatever, man. I didn't like the way Stephen A. was slobbing on the knob,
Right.
like corn on the cob.
Right. Right. Yeah, but Stephen A. is in the entertainment business though. And he's a journalist, but he works for an entertainment network. So, I mean, I don't, you know, I understand where he comes from, but I, for instance, I value what Chuck says over Stephen A. Smith, and I know that seemed, and he's like, man, you don't even Chuck, Stephen A. Smith got such and such all these accolades, and he got all this power. What I'm saying is Chuck is on a platform where he don't have to acquiesce to anybody's anything.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen A. Smith has to do and say what his bosses tell him to say, or there'll be a new Stephen A. tomorrow. So, yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had something a joke, but I'm a chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't think Jerry. I don't think he's a racist. I don't think he's a racist at all. Like some other people were trying to paint him, but I'm like, yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Can't change that.
All right.
Can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't change that. I've definitely seen black and white pictures where there were white folks and their children standing around a tree with a black man hanging from it.
Right. Right.
And so I can't hold them babies accountable for being there.
Right. You know what they call that, right? When you know the thing is, here's my education thing. So
Yes,
at these lynches and stuff, people from trees, they call it strange fruit.
Yes.
That's what black people used to call it, strange fruit. Right. So when you hear rappers and stuff like trying to tell you stuff secretly through they lyrics and all this stuff, they'll use innuendos and things like that to open up your mind. Sometimes people don't get it when they hear like stuff like that, like when they hear gator bait. When you hear gator bait and strange fruit and stuff like that, people are trying to tell you something. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get you to dig deeper. Like, what is gator bait? You know what I'm saying? What is strange fruit? You know what I'm saying? It's like people trying to tell you something, but they can't come out and say it openly because their record won't get played.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a combination of, man. It's so much stuff, bro.
Salute to Billie Holiday. She sang a song, I think, of called "Strange Fruit." Right? Am I right?
I don't know. I don't know if she did or not.
Alfred Griffin, Soulfinger, DSJ. Y'all let me know.
Right. Right. These headphones make my ears so sweaty, bro. I don't know why. I need to probably need to get a speaker in here instead of putting headphones or something. But anyway.
Yeah, man, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Okay. I don't have anything else to say on that subject.
Okay. Yeah, man, I'm going to see the doctor today, boss.
Yes, sir.
Be
Yes, sir.
responsible, Uncle Freezy. Be an adult. Okay, I'm going.
Yes, sir, man. Nah, because we need you. We need you around, man, to have conversations like that, and then share your experiences. Man, that's why I love to hear you talk, man, and tell these stories. I mean, I've never had anyone pull me aside and talk to me about anything concerning life. Like I've never had a white person pull me aside and do that. I've worked with plenty of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Segregation itself is still real. Like the 20 white kids that went to our school all sat at the same table.
Right. Right.
They ain't mingle with nobody else.
Right.
Maybe two or three of them.
Maybe 2 or 3.
But the rest of them, they sat at their table. When they went outside, they all went outside in the group and sat on the grass together. And
Right.
I was like, man.
Right.
But I think that's dope. I think that's dope from a man from a certain era, certain time,
Right.
raised a certain way, was able to talk to you on a human level.
Right.
Not like,
You know why, Chuck? Because he was fearless. And the thing about being fearless is it's not being fearless is not living with the absence of fear.
mm-hmm.
Because every man is gonna fear something, right? But it's certain being fearless in certain situations is what makes you fearless, right?
Yes,
like with him, he was willing to sit through an uncomfortable situation to get to a root, right? And I was willing to talk to him about it because I wanted to find out why he was interested in me, right? And so,
right.
yeah, we had the conversation, and I wound up being the teacher's pet, not because I was a snitch, right? Because I used to be like, yo, they'd be like, yo, Uncle Freezy, man, that's one of the things you got to get. Yo, improving the company doesn't make you a snitch, right? I was like, yo, telling on somebody makes you a tattletale, a snitch,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it was like, no, it don't, man. It just means you trying to improve the company. Well, let me improve it my way, right? Have faith enough in me that if I see something wrong, I can correct it, right? And he like, that's so unconventional. People don't do it. Nah. How? Okay. So how has it worked thus far? It's not working. Well, okay, try something different. Okay, Uncle Ross, where you coming from? I see where you're coming from. You know, it's one of them things, man, where in order to be better, you got to expand your horizons, you got to expand your borders, you got to travel, you got to get away from the thing that you used to and go to different places, experience new stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Have conversations with people that are not like you so that it makes you better, right?
Absolutely.
And if you don't want to get better, stay in the same situation you're in. Go to the same bodega, eat the same food, wear the same clothes, keep the same network of friends the same, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you gotta expand your horizons. It looked like Unc froze. I'm not sure. But have you guys ever been in a situation like I've had some aunties that have been in the South all their lives, right? So when they come to the big city, you want to show them a good time. They ain't gonna go everywhere and do everything because they're scared. So you take them to a real nice restaurant, and they get their menu, They look over the menu, and it's one of the menus that got like 4 pages,
Right.
all kinds of stuff. You can order anything you want. You want to get breakfast, you can get breakfast. You want to get a turkey club, they got that. You want salmon, they got that. They got a couple other things that are at the time were new, like bison burgers,
Yeah,
and ostrich burgers.
yeah,
Those were at that particular time they were new.
yeah.
So they're looking at
about the same. We talking about the same time because the dude that I'm talking about that took me to lunch when we was having this conversation, we went and had bison burgers on garden fresh tomatoes. They had the tomato vine inside the restaurant. The dude legit went to the tomato vine, picked the tomato off of the vine, like you could see it, like this thing, like they had like a gate looking thing with tomatoes on it. The dude picked one up, wash it off, put it in this little press, slam the press down, and the tomato just folds into like these slices. Yeah. In Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah, in Colombia. Colombia doing anything.
This is recently? Oh, man, I got to get back down to the metro, man.
Bro, this was like 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
The metro? Bro, come on, man. The metro be jumping, bro.
Okay.
Metro jumping like a disco.
Yes, sir.
Bro, when you see Lexington and Irmo, you gonna be like, what?
Oh, that's what's up.
Lexington, Irmo, Sumter. All, bro, I'm telling you, John Morant from Sumter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Fort Jackson. Yeah.
I went to basic and I was stationed at Fort Jackson for a year and some change.
Yeah.
But what I was getting at was, this restaurant, you can get anything you want to get. They looked at that menu probably for like 10, 15 minutes, sent the girl away 4 or 5 times, right?
Right.
You know what they got? Baked chicken. You could have had baked chicken at home.
Right.
You could have tried something else. Man, I don't eat that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried it? No. I ain't got to try it. I ain't got to try it to know I don't like it.
Right. Right. Chuck, see, in Colombia, they have these restaurants now where they bring out the menu. It's a tablet. Right. They bring out the tablet to your table and you swipe the tablet to certain pages and whatever. Yeah. Yeah, bro. And so they give it to you when you first get there and they have these lights around it while you wait. And then when they are ready for you, your tablet will light up. Like it'll start the light to go around it to let you know your table ready and all of that stuff. Or some restaurants it'll just like pulse real soft. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. That's technology for you, man. Moving into the future, man. I like to see stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know what else it does though?
You can split the bill. Like if there's a bunch of people there, you can split the bill on the tablet. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you can pay using that tablet too.
Yes.
You can create an account on that tablet too, right? And while you wait, like your table will be ready in 10 minutes. You can go through the thing, and then you can start ordering your stuff. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Colombia is gonna be like the only thing I'm gonna say about Colombia is if Lexington wasn't there, if Colombia could have expanded out to Lexington, into Irmo, into Fort Jackson, Colombia could have been like a Portland or a Seattle type of spot. You know what I'm saying? Like a Charlotte. Well, not Charlotte. Charlotte is big, bro. Charlotte is bigger than people think Charlotte is a small market. Charlotte is not a small market. No. Charlotte is the banking capital of the United States. Think about how many banks you see in New York, right? And think that Charlotte got like 4 times that many that exist in the city limits. It's crazy, right?
Crazy.
Charlotte, North Carolina is the banking capital of the United States. Yep.
That's why you see Charlotte always on the list, rising up the list as what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all, I hate when my brain freeze like this. States with the most economic growth, because like always, like right behind Charlotte usually is like the Spartanburg, Greenville, Simpsonville area, because I guess they got all of those plants and car manufacturers and things of that nature.
Right.
But Charlotte is always at least in the top 15,
Right.
moving up. But I did not know. I didn't know that they were the banking capital of the United States.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You know who else is in the top 7? San Antonio, Texas. 1.5 million people. People think San Antonio is a small market. San Antonio is huge, bro. Yeah, man.
I can believe that. I can believe that. When I brought up the only thing that I was bringing up when I brought up the restaurant thing was that folks don't try anything new. Even if we were going to somewhere like Golden Corral, you look at their plate, it's the same thing that you cook at home. Like all this other food here.
Fried chicken, green.
Yeah. You're gonna have that at home.
Right. Right.
Man, I don't eat all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. My mom wouldn't try
Are you kind of frozen there,
fried, not octopus, fried squid. What's fried squid?
Calamari. Amazing.
Yeah. My mom would not try fried calamari. Never mind. Fried calamari. But I eat the whole serving by myself, bro. Fried calamari with that sauce, that dipping sauce, bro.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, Chuck, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm gonna wrap. My internet is freezing up for the first time in forever. I don't know if it's StreamYard or I think it's Stream. It might be the app. But yeah, man. I'm gonna get out of here so I can get something to eat for breakfast. Try to get some work done, and then go to the doctor because I know I'm gonna be in there for like 3 hours.
Hey. Vibe.
Whole hours.
4 hours. Hey, man, if it takes 6 hours, man, you were sitting there 6 hours for them to tell you, hey, it's just a little bit of soreness. Put something this on it and let it elevate it, and you'll be all right. I'd rather that than you continue to walk around here limping on your leg and something bad happens. So yes, sir.
The funny thing is I got to a point now when I like limp from here to the bedroom. In my mind, a Jay-Z song is in my head. Big pimpin', except he big limping. That's what I'm thinking. Like, man, I know I need to go to the doctor, man.
You spending cheese?
Yeah. So, and it's a shame that Jay-Z got out-rapped on his old song by UGK, but it happens. Jay-Z is not necessarily the best rapper. I think a lot of his joints are overrated. But he is a good artist though.
Oh, you ain't gonna get no complaints from me. I'm not gonna disagree with you on that.
Yeah.
Pimp C only had 8 bars, and it is the most memorable part of the song.
Yeah.
Oh, now pouring up, keep that leader in my cup. We call it wood.
Yeah.
We call it buck. Man, everybody wanna brawl, holler brawls at the mall. I can't. Y'all, man, let me tell you something. Yeah.
They got out rapped on their own joint too, though. What what is it? International anthem.
Oh,
playing?
come on, man. Come on, man. That's not fair.
What is it? What's the name of the joint? It's something anthem, right?
It's an international players anthem.
Okay, yeah, Andre 3.
Come on, man.
Andre 3.
I wanted to stop the song after that. I ain't wanted to listen to nothing else.
Yeah.
I said, this is the coldest I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yo, this guy's different. He is an alien for real.
Yes.
I typed the letter to a girl who used to see.
Yeah. And let her know about this girl.
I want to be like,
yeah.
See the every girl around town that I used to see around. I'm like, hold.
Yeah.
Rewind. What we doing here?
Rewind.
Oh,
and then the video is about Andre 3000 getting married, and it's an Underground Kings video song.
Yes.
Yeah, the takeover.
Originally, it was a 3-6 Mafia song.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, man, that's super dope. Listen, man, we gotta get out.
I gotta get out of here. Get something.
You gotta get out of here. So
and then the Knicks play Boston tonight. So I gotta go buy a color TV so I can see the Knicks play basketball. Everybody. So, but yeah, I'm yeah, man. I'm gonna research something. I'm gonna send you a link to it later.
Okay.
All right, boss. We out of here, y'all. Peace.